are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on ESPN2, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and weighing in officially at 158 pounds. As a professional, an outstanding record. 30 victories, including 18 wins by knockout, with only one defeat. Originally from Cameroon, but now living, training, and fighting out of Patis, Saint-Denis, France. He's the former interim middleweight world champion, Hassan. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white with red and officially weighing in at 158.8 pounds. His professional record also outstanding, 27 victories, including 20 knockouts, only 4 defeats. From Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, USA, here is Curtis Showtime Stevens.
First punch is a whack. Got it?
Hey, clear the ring.
First punch is the jam.
Clear the ring.
Yo, focus.
Right here, Curtis. All right, you fighter, receive the instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Go back to your corner.
You know, one of the reasons I'm excited about that, Stevens has that, talk about it in the locker room, you know, that great eraser. I talk about a lot on our air. And he brought up a good point, and I bring up that point all the time. That eraser, wow, great, great gift, but it can be a curse. Because sometimes you depend on it too much, and you forget to do the other things to set it up. You forget the jab, you forget the body work. And you get yourself behind the 8 ball where you need that great eraser. That, for me, is what the trainers of Stevens do not want to happen. To get him into that position where he needs it. He needs to use those fundamentals, the other things that the guys with less of a gift, maybe a guy like Nadam, with less of that power, they know they have to do. And one thing that Nadam's not doing right now is he's not staying off those ropes. You don't want to be in close. What I talk about the last fight, geography. The geography for Nadam to have a chance has to be on the outside. On the outside, not in close.
That was a slip.
Yeah, that's a slip, but Nadam has to stay on the outside and just do a little picking and moving. Not looking to do too much early, but making sure, more importantly, Stevens can't do too much. And that means, again, geography, outside and angles, not in close, not on the ropes. I like Stevens in this fight, even though Nadam is the betting favorite.
What will prevail? Will it be power or finesse? We're about to find out. Stevens, 20 knockouts in 27 professional wins. Hassan Ndam, just 1 loss, and it came in a world title fight to Peter Quillin.
I'll tell you what Stevens has to do. Forget about the left hook. We know about that. He's got power in both hands, especially the left hook. Needs to use that jab. Hope his trainer told him that. He needs to jab to the chest of Nadam. Stabilize the outside, because that's Nadam's only shot on the outside. Stabilize the outside with the jab to the chest, and then the rest will come. Then you cut the ring down, then you go to the body, put a little water in the basement, take the legs away from Nadam. But it starts for me, not with the left hook. For Stevens, for me, it starts with the left jab. You don't see Stevens throwing a jab, he can lose his fight. He's going to get behind in his fight. You see him using that jab, he's going to get a chance to land something on Nadam.
I mentioned this earlier tonight, Teddy. What do you think? Is it a case where if it goes the distance, it's Ndam's fight? But if it doesn't go the distance, Stevens wins?
No, I'm not going to say that. You know why? Ndam went the distance with Kid Chocolate, Peter Quinlan, and he lost because he was on the floor 6 times. You know, so if he goes the distance, and he's got to do more than dance all night. You know, he's got to. That's great. We had fun with it, but he's got to do more than the dancing. You know, he's got to do a little punching with it.
Make sure you score this fight every round on our Friday Night Fights Facebook page. We'll update you on the results. You can compare to Teddy Atlas's score. So Indom did go down, but it was ruled a slip. You be the judge.
There are 2 reasons why I need to keep an eye on my health. That's why I take Metabiotic, a daily probiotic.
With 70% of your immune system in your gut, new multi-health Metabiotic with Bioactive 12 helps maintain digestive balance and is proven to help support a healthy immune system.
I take care of myself so I can take care of them.
Experience the Meta effect with our new multi-health wellness line and see how one small change can lead to good things.
I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. And we can dip down low and roll it.
We're inside the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California, round 2 of 12. It's our main event, an IBF middleweight title eliminator. Hassan Indom taking on Curtis Showtime Stevens. Stevens in the white and red. Indom in the black and gold. Todd Grisham, Teddy Atlas ringside.
One of the men in the corner. There's a pretty good corner there that Stevens has from New York. Andre Rozier, his uncle, and Gary Stark Sr. One of the trainers does a real good job in the Dr. Atlas Foundation Cops and Kids gyms. We got 3 of them in New York. Got about 600 kids, and they're watching tonight because one of their trainers, Gary Stark, is in the corner with Stevens. So you know who's rooting for Stevens tonight. A lot of kids from New York.
Indom again going down. But it was, of course, it looked like a trip that time. If you told someone that Indom had gone down twice in the first 4 minutes of this fight, it'd be panic time. But not quite like that.
But not a surprise either, because Stevens has that kind of power.
Nice exchange there, and Indom may have gotten the better of it, actually, with that right hand.
I don't think it landed, I'll be honest with you, but, you know, he's got the right idea. Move and hit and move. Do not allow this guy with the power in his gloves to get set. Keep more balance. You know, I said it in the setup early before we came on the air, before we got to the actual fighting. I said, you know, having power is great, but it's kind of like, you can use the example like a military weapon. You know, it means nothing if it doesn't have a missile to convey it to the target. Otherwise, what does it do? You know, it just blows up and makes a hole in the ground. And like I said, when it rains, you go swimming. Your kids can go in there and they can, you know, paddle around. You need to get it to the target. And Stevens, we know he's got the power. Can he get it to the target, a moving target of Indom? That's the key. And again, for me, the concentration in the gym, getting ready for this fight for Stevens, should have been the jab. The jab to the chest of Indom to stabilize him. Take away the outside. Don't give him that outside, because that's the one thing he wants, the outside. We know that. Take that away from him a little bit, frustrate him, make him desperate, make him take chances, and then you got a better chance of landing that power.
Stevens was very critical of himself his last couple of fights. He said against Triple G and his win over Torreno Johnson that he was headhunting. He wasn't throwing enough punches. Says he's going to let his hands go more, and tonight he does appear to be more active.
Not the right way. Not using the jab, not using the right punches right now. Looking for the power punch too much.
Throughout the night, we've been showing you some of Teddy's favorite left-handed knockouts of all time, and this is our third and final one. It's Patterson and Johansson.
Yeah, Floyd Patterson, leaping left hook. That's what he was known for, and he had power. And he leaps in, and he catches Johansson. Look at the foot of Johansson. It's shaking. That's the effect from that big punch from the leaping left hook of Floyd Patterson, who became the first heavyweight champion ever to regain his title. Take a look again. Left hook to the body. Johansson steps back. Patterson jumps in with that leaping left hook, and he goes out of the ring a champion once again.
Was Rocky a southpaw?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was television. Television. Movies. See, movies. See, someone's got to remind him. You did that in the movies, so not in real life.
It's still real to me, Teddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a great movie. A few great movies, but not 6 of them. You know, but
let's forget about number 5. Let's just say there were 5 of them.
There was a couple good ones, and look, it made his mark. It made him famous. It made him rich, and it made him a boxing. Believe it or not, it made Sylvester Stallone some kind of a boxing icon.
He's got a statue in Philadelphia.
Yes, he does. I was there. We've done fights there.
And it's good to see that they're going to be dedicating one soon to Joe Frazier from Philadelphia, who also had a pretty good left hand.
And who was a real fighter, not a movie fighter. Taking nothing away from Sylvester Stallone, you know, the things he did in the movies and how it added to the sport, brought attention to the sport, and it's a great movie to enjoy. But Joe Frazier, that was Smoking Joe. That's the real deal. He's taking real punches.
The reason we've been showing you some great left-handed knockouts is because Stevens has some of his own, certainly not as infamous or famous as the ones we've shown you, but he'd love to get one tonight. And if he does get a knockout, he'll get a world title shot. The second of his career. His first shot came against Triple G. He did pretty well, better than most anyone else has against Gennady Golovkin, but was eventually stopped in the 8th round.
See, everybody thinks it's going to be the left hook tonight for Stevens if he's going to win by knockout. I think it's going to be the right hand, because I think that there's opportunities. If Stevens is ready for those opportunities, where Nadam will reach in with his own left hooks, with a straight right hand, if Stevens can find the mark.
This is a smaller ring. We mentioned earlier that Endom and his camp weren't too happy about the size of the ring, but here we are. We'll see if Stevens can take advantage of the smaller confines.
Again, no jab from Stevens. It allows Endom to live on the outside, to float on the outside, to exist on the outside, to feel confident on the outside. Maybe so confident that he took it inside a little bit. This is where Stevens really needs to make him pay a price for being in close. I see what Stevens doing. He's trying to catch.
Set the trap, it looks like.
He's trying to catch something and then counter. You saw it on the replays when he showed his knockouts early on the videotape. That's what Stevens likes to do. He likes to catch on his left glove especially, and then pitch back with the left hook. The only thing that Dom didn't stay there, he used his legs. He stepped out.
Stevens told us he's been working on his speed. Said he does a drill called Box and Rumble, wears 16-ounce gloves and 5-pound weights and does 5-minute rounds to try and up his speed. We'll see if he can keep that speed throughout the fight. Round 3 of 12 in the books.
FanDuel's one-week leagues for real money are the hottest thing in fantasy football.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Fantasy football on FanDuel is easy. Just choose a league, pick your team, and get your cash winnings Monday night.
There's $1 games, there's $2 games. Each player has a different value. You can click on that player and insert them right into your lineup.
Try FanDuel today and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
With FanDuel, you get your winnings right away.
Go to FanDuel.com and click on the microphone to get up to $200 free. Enter promo code PANCAKE4.
There are certain types of people out there. People who know the difference between a job done and a job well done. For them, we built the Can-Am Outlander L. Starting at $63.99. And backed by a 5-year extended warranty. 10 times longer than most competitors. It offers the most power, torque, and towing capacity in its class. The Outlander L from Can-Am. The ride says it all.
We're back in Santa Monica, California. This is an ESPN boxing special. 12 rounds in the middleweight division between Hassan Endom and Curtis Stevens. The winner will square off for the IBF middleweight championship of the world. Endom in the black and colored trunks, Stevens in the white and red.
You know, both these fighters know what's at stake, a world title fight, and they're waiting. Oh, that proves witness to it. Stevens, lightest of his career. Again, he knows what's at stake, and for Endom, lightest weight in almost 2.5 years.
Indom said his favorite punch is the jab. Says he has the best jab in the world today. What have you seen from him through 3 rounds?
Well, it's not the best in the world. Today or yesterday or tomorrow. It's not. I'm not knocking him, but I'm saying it's not the best in the world. But he needs it to win tonight. But more importantly, he needs it at the right range. He needs it from a distance. You know, he likes to flick it. He likes to do that Larry Holmes jab that he used sometimes. Keep it around his hip sometimes and do that.
There's a nice jab.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. He likes to keep it around the hip and flick it out a little bit. But when you keep it down low like that, it allows an opportunity for Stevens to creep in a little bit before it gets up into that chamber to punch. He can creep in a little bit. That's what he's trying to do. Creep in a little bit and get in position, maybe, to time him with a right hand.
That looked like a Mike Tyson creep in without the exclamation point.
Yeah, but the creep in has to come behind the jab for Stevens. He's doing it with no jab. And therefore, Ndam has nothing coming at him. He's got good vision. He can see everything. And he can react. He can counter a little bit. And he can get out of dodge when he needs to. Something has to come from Stevens as he puts that pressure on. Otherwise, Ndam, he's got the edge. You know, he stands outside, he sees everything coming from the shorter man. A little bit of a slower man on his legs. Definitely Stevens is slower. And he can do that. You know, he can machine gun a little bit on the outside. He can feel free, he can feel light. He can feel confident. There's nothing coming at him. Again, Stevens needs to get that jab working if he's going to win this fight. And jab to the chest of Ndam. And do a little of that, a little body work too.
This looks like the best round of the fight so far for Ndam. He's comfortable, he's moving, his jab is landing, and Stevens has been less active than the prior 3 rounds.
I wouldn't say Ndam's jab landed, but I'd say that he's doing more than Stevens is doing. You know, he's controlling the theme, the rhythm of the fight. You know, he is the ring general right now, Ndam, and that is enough to win this round so far.
He's the matador, and Stevens has been the bull, at least in round number 4 of a scheduled 12 here in Santa Monica, California.
Feel it?
JJ, what?
You know the game's on tonight, right, Amy?
I know, but it's my turn to chaperone.
Right, but you can do both.
How?
NFL Mobile is now free with the More Everything plan from Verizon.
I have Verizon.
Download it, and you can watch the game right here.
Come on, Miss Boogie! Oh, Helen.
Watch primetime NFL games on NFL Mobile, included with the More Everything plan, exclusively from Verizon.
I typed my name, and Ancestry opened the door to the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Take a look at those slips early in the first round. That slip, nothing landed there, but take a look at this second slip. Maybe a body punch lands. Body punch and then a slip. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. No knockdown, the referee says so. We don't score a knockdown. And the man winning, at least on my scorecard, Ndam. Little swelling under the left eye already of Stevens.
You see the jabs landed by both fighters. Stevens actually with 5 more.
The corner of Stevens needs to get working on that eye before it becomes a problem. Not after it becomes a problem. That would be Danny Milano, the cut man. He needs to do some work, you know, right now, not with any chemicals, you know, any anticoagulants or any adrenaline, the things that you're allowed to use. He needs to use that end swell now before that swelling becomes worse. That piece of metal that you keep on ice to keep swelling down.
Through 4 rounds, Teddy has it 3-1 for Hassan Ndam. Those of you scoring on our Friday Night Fights Facebook page have it even at 2 rounds apiece.
Again, I said it early, so I'm not saying it when it's more obvious. I said it right from the beginning that Stevens doesn't jab, he doesn't win. And he's not jabbing enough. See, he's looking to catch and pitch. You know, he's looking to catch and punch on the arm, especially a right arm. He's looking to catch that right hand on the arm, on the left arm of himself, Stevens, and then pitch back with the left hook and try to catch the Dom on that counter, you know, a rebound, you know. Take that punch and then just bang off the block with the left hook. The problem is Endom's wise to it. He's not staying there after he delivers the right hand. He's moving out.
Well, Stevens described Endom as a track and field boxer, always running around the ring.
Yeah, but then he should have been prepared for a track and field boxer. No excuse. Stevens knew what he was getting. He said it. He should have had a strategy to deal with that. And again, right now, I'm not seeing that strategy at work. I'm not seeing enough body work, and I'm seeing no jabs to control the outside and basically keep from happening what's happening right now. Pot shotting and movement on the outside because Endom has nothing coming at him. Nothing to worry about. No bugs on the windshield. Got to put bugs on the windshield. And that means when you're pressing forward, block the view of the guy you're pressing. See what Stevens should have looked at? Stevens should have looked at that Floyd Patterson knockout. Really? That leaping left hook. Instead of catching and, you know, catching and pitch, looking to counter back, he needs to step in with that left hook. When Endom, after he throws the right hand, when Endom goes out, step with him. Like that. Step to him.
Let's send it over now to Bernardo Osuna, who is with a living acting legend.
Not every day that you can actually sit here with Sylvester Stallone and watch a movie, Boxing Hall of Famer. Talk to me about what it's like to be in your backyard and have the fights come to you.
Well, it's actually interesting because we're doing another film called Creed now, and it'll be starring Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, who directed Fruitvale Station. And people sometimes say it's Rocky 7. It's not. Actually, I play a smaller part in it, but we're now spending a lot of time researching fights. We'll be going to Triple G's fight pretty soon. And I find it incredibly passionate. Obviously, it's a very, very dramatic sport. I think it's the hardest sport in the world by far. I mean, as much as we like to say, you know, hockey and this and that, there's just something about the naked brutality and also the courageousness of this, where a man's soul is really bared in front of witnesses, and there's just no excuse making. You can't say, well, my teammate didn't help me out. It's all you. So it'll be great to be back in that world. We're going to start around January.
All right.
So we're here.
All right. So let's see if we get a rocky finish tonight between Hassan Endom and his opponent, Curtis Stevens.
Well, he got in the right counter punch there, did Sylvester, promoting his film.
That's what you do. Can't waste a second of TV time. And now Stevens applying much more pressure than he did in round 5. Maybe his corner said, pick up the pace, man.
Well, they better have told him that, but how do you pick it up? It's not enough to say, hey, throw punches. Hey, pick up the pace. I think we know that. They need to tell him exactly, definitively, how. And the way to do it is use that jab again, take away the outside a little bit from Endom, stabilize him a little bit. Get him stable, get inside, work to the body, then the head. Don't go all the way up to the head. And when Endom does step out, step with him.
Endom stopped moving, and that appears to be a bad idea.
Well, no, he's not getting caught. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job on defense. I got to give him credit. Endom inside the block. He slipped a little bit. He made everything miss, but Stevens should have stayed there and just kept pounding because that's where he wants to be. And he needs to pound to the body when he's in close because Endom is not stupid. He's going to move his head. So go to the body and then find the head afterwards.
You can see Endom there feeling it. Very confident, starting to talk a little smack now to Curtis Stevens.
But remember, Endom, I thought going into this had to fight a perfect fight or a near perfect fight. He's done that so far. Stevens, I said it early, Stevens could make mistakes in this fight and still win.
Endom's family is over in France right now. He said, I'm very upset that I've had to stay here in the United States and train for this fight. I'm going to take out my frustrations on Curtis Stevens in the ring. 10 sisters and 7 brothers Endom has, Ted.
Yeah, well, no wonder he's a fighter.
You can't fly them all over here.
I mean, you have to be a fighter just to get to the potatoes. I mean, pass the corn, 2 left hooks. Thank you. Come on. I mean, 17 people? Are you kidding me at that table? You better be a fighter. Imagine how some of those systems work.
We were wondering if Stevens was going to give Indom a chin check, so to speak, but he really hasn't landed that one big punch yet.
And that's all it's going to take is land one big one. Because I think Stevens, I mean, if you go by the chins, Stevens been knocked out twice. Indom hasn't been, but Indom down 6 times in that fight against Kid Chocolate. I think Stevens has the better chins.
We're halfway through this 12-round title eliminator.
Take pride of Seth OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because you can't be zero heartburn.
Prilosec OTC, the #1 doctor-recommended frequent heartburn medicine for 9 straight years. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Touchdown, Aggies. Nice delivery. It's a Tiger touchdown. Huge haul for Marshall.
At noon, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and at 7, LSU Auburn, Saturday on ESPN.
6 rounds down, 6 rounds to go. 12-rounder from the middleweight division, Hassan Indom taking on Curtis Stevens. Next week here on ESPN2, Jermaine Taylor, Sam Solomon, the IBF middleweight championship. The winner of that fight take on the winner of this fight. Indom promised to give Stevens a boxing lesson. Said he knows that Stevens wants to get inside, but I simply won't let him. I'll keep moving. He will not be able to hit. That's mostly been the case.
So far, so good. Remember that joke? You know, the guy was falling from the...
Oh, the right hand connects.
Indom staying there for too long. I said it in the last round. He can't afford to make a mistake. Stevens can, and has, and can still win the fight because he's got the power. And I think the better chin than Indom. You know that old joke where the guy's falling from 110 stories from the Empire State Building, about the 50th floor. He looks into the guy in the office and says, "How am I doing?" And the guy goes, "Good so far." I mean, that's kind of like Indom right now with Stevens. You know, how am I doing? Good so far, but don't get caught. That pavement will come up on you real quick, and the pavement will come in the form of a left hook or a powerful right hand from Stevens.
Curtis Stevens began his career in 2004 as a light heavyweight. He's fought at 168 before, and now at 160. Told me yesterday if the money was right, he'd be able to go down to 154.
Most of the fights Van Damme have been in France. This is only his 3rd fight here in the U.S. He's 1-1, trying to make it 2-1, the biggest fight right now of his career.
What's more tiring, Teddy? Running around the ring or chasing someone around the ring?
Chasing somebody, you get frustrated. If you're running around and you're having your way, you're controlling, you're dictating, which is what Indom's doing, you're winning, then it's fun. It's okay. But if you're chasing and you're not landing, you're getting frustrated, that gets you tired. That mentally wears on you, discourages you.
Indom continues to circle to his left to get away from the left hand of Curtis Stevens. How can Stevens change the momentum? Cut the ring off now.
Yeah, cut the ring off and use that jab. Again, stabilize it with that jab, cut the ring off, go to the body, and then step with him when he steps out. Step with him. See, there Stevens missed an opportunity. He didn't step deep enough. He should have stepped a little deeper, a little to the side, and he might have caught Indom pulling out.
Let it go!
Let's listen in now to Curtis Stevens' corner.
It started off well. You're giving him too much respect.
At the beginning of the round, then you chill out, baby.
It's not.
Curtis Stevens talking earlier about what he needs to do to win. Will it come from the left hand?
Take a deep breath.
Knowing that I have the eraser, it's good. It's very good that I know I have it. But it's bad at times because I get in there and only think about the eraser instead of thinking about just letting my hands loose and having fun.
Use the jab to work. And get close to him and bang him up. I need every round from now on you to rough him up. You hurt him and you let him breathe again. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Stevens getting the opportunity he wanted, but most of them landed on the glove. There's the right hand that landed, but didn't land the second one. Right hand landed, and took it well, and then moved his head. See, that's what you want to do. That's what an experienced A-level fighter does. Doesn't get caught the second punch. Got caught the first one, but didn't get caught the second one. And quite honestly, Stevens probably didn't have the second one right there the way he should have.
Stevens showed a flair for the dramatic in his last fight against Torreno. Oh, and there's a drop, and it's Indom! Indom gets the right hand in.
Yeah, what happens when you look for the big punch? You get caught with it.
Hey, walk to me. Are you okay? Can you continue?
Stevens' corner wanted him to start roughing up Indom. Instead, it came in the other direction.
Because when you're looking for the home run, you strike out sometimes. And Stevens was looking for the home run from too far away. And while he was looking for the home run from too far away, he got nailed.
And now Stevens back against the rope. He's in trouble. Indom, can he finish here in round 8?
He's not landing no Indom. Most of those punches. Remember, Indom's not a big puncher. Even though he scored a knockdown here, he's not a big puncher. Most of those punches, not real powerful. They're fast, and a lot of them off the gloves of Stevens.
Stevens not throwing back right now. Indom teeing off. Are we about to see a knockout?
But again, most of them not landing. And Stevens just landed a good right hand there. Trying to set a trap there. Trying to get Indom to stay in a little too long. A little overconfident, where Stevens could do what he likes to do. Catch and pitch.
Stevens appears to have regained his balance, caught his breath, and now again, pressing the issue.
Yeah, again, Indom not a big punch. He scored a good big right hand because Stevens gave him that chance. Stevens was coming in from too far away, looking for a big shot, and Indom being a little longer, a little taller, he nailed him on the way in.
Curtis Stevens has gotten off the canvas to win once before. That was against Thomas Reed, won that via TKO. He's going to have to do it again tonight if he wants a shot at the middleweight championship.
Again, I said it early. Stevens can make mistakes and still win. He's made plenty of them tonight. He still has a chance to win. Indom has not made any mistakes so far. That's what Stevens looking for. Pitch and catch. You know, the right hand from Indom, and then Stevens comes right back with his left hook. That's what he's looking for, and he made a little adjustment to it. What we were talking about with Floyd Patterson, he stepped with the left hook, didn't throw from the same position. He stepped with him a little bit.
So Stevens gets off the canvas and almost puts Indom on the canvas himself. What a round that was here from Santa Monica.
You got to tighten up that defense. Come on.
Take a look at the knockdown. See the right hand, nice straight right hand. He blinds him with the jab. Take another look. And he used that jab to blind him. And you see Stevens loading up with the big right hand. He shouldn't load up from too far away. He's loading up. He's got his hands down. The jab blinded him. And the right hand right under the chin. Drops him. Now look at the left hand of Stevens. There's the left hook. The right hand, he's looking for that all night. That is his specialty for Stevens. The left hook. After the right hand of Indom, Stevens looked to come right back with that left hook before Indom covered.
Okay. We were waiting for a chin check, so to speak. And Indom survived.
See, that's what Stevens likes to do. You know, and Indom throwing those right hands. Stevens likes to block the right hand and then try to come back with the left hook fast enough before Indom gets the right hand back. And he did it that time. Not real clean, but he got a little closer to what he wants to do, which is land a flush punch, especially a left hook. That's his Sunday punch.
4 rounds to go. Round 8 was fantastic. Stevens going down. Indom almost going down as well. But that should probably scored a 10-8 round.
See, Todd, one of the things that Stevens and his people in the corner have to adjust to is Stevens, again, normally he likes to, catch and pitch. He'll block and bang, he'll come right back. If the guy stands in front of him, doesn't use his legs, that's going to work. But if the guy's using his legs, like Endom, then what you got to do is block and step and pitch. Don't just pitch. Step forward and pitch, because Endom's not there. He's back a little bit. In other words, fill that space. That's what Stevens has to do if he's going to win this fight by a knockout. Step with Endom and catch him going out.
There's Teddy's scorecard outside of round 1. They've all gone to Endom. As for those of you scoring on Facebook, you don't do points, you just do rounds. You have it 5-3. Of course, the last round, round number 8, will most likely be scored 10-8 on all 3 judges' scorecards because of that knockdown. So Stevens needs a knockout.
On my scorecard, we don't know on the official scorecard.
He got one in the 10th and final round against Toreno Johnson in his last fight, a fight that Stevens was losing until that moment. Can he come up with some similar drama here tonight?
Again, no jab from Stevens. Very disappointing if you're back up Stevens. Needed, at least I think, needed to come in understanding that needed to be part of the fight plan. Not the power, not all that, not even the body work as much, but the jab to take away the outside of Endom. At least equalize, stabilize the outside of Endom. Not let Endom just have his way in a place where you knew he wanted to have his way, on the outside. Of course, I'd like to see more body work from Stevens, but if you use the jab to stabilize Endom, there's a better chance of getting a target to the body, too.
Stevens just missing with that counter left hand. Endom getting very comfortable now. Hopefully, for his sake, not too comfortable.
Well, that's a good point, actually. That's the key. The corner needs to remind Endom, don't get careless, don't get overconfident. One punch can change it. Pull that dream right out of your hands.
Ancestry.com searches the world's largest online family history resource so you can discover who you came from. And now it's possible to learn your ethnicity with Ancestry DNA. A simple test will tell you your ethnic origins, where your ancestors lived up to 1,000 years ago, and connect you with relatives you didn't know you had. So now there's even more ways to discover, well, you. Go to AncestryDNA.com to order your kit today.
This Saturday, you are cordially invited to Game Day's first ever visit to Ole Miss.
The Grove is waiting.
Bow ties, boat shoes, and football. Please dress accordingly.
5-3. So you can get it back. Let's go. Come on, wake it up. It's 5-3. Wake it up.
5 rounds to 3, according to Curtis Stevens' corner.
All right, 10 rounds, gentlemen.
They told him to work more. Let your hands go. Throw more punches. It's now or never.
You wonder where they're getting that information from. Maybe somebody's peeking over the scorecards of the judges. That happens in boxing sometimes. You send a spy out there, and they peek at the scorecards, and they report back to you, or maybe he's just guessing.
Well, they weren't looking at your scorecard, or they'd have told him a different story.
They might have been looking at Facebook, because that's exactly what Facebook had. All kidding aside, somebody in the arena, they're looking at our monitors, might have saw Facebook and mistaken that, and thought that somehow that was showing what the official scorecards are, which we couldn't show because we don't know.
Bernardo Asuna's been listening into the corners. What's going on, Bernardo?
Todd, Andre Rozier was very adamant in saying, you're giving him the fight. You told me you wanted to be here, but you're not doing it in the ring. He wants him to throw more jabs. He wants them to be more active, and he wants him to take him out here in the championship rounds, which are coming up after this 10th.
Andre Rozier, the trainer for Curtis Stevens, in the corner.
Let his hand go.
Endom's trainer, Mustafa Wisher. Speaking French, so we don't have as clear a vision of what they would like to see.
But they've done a good job. Give them credit. You know, I was talking about the corner from New York, where I'm from, of Curtis Stevens, and that they do a good job in that corner. Andre Roja and Gary Stark Sr. But tonight, the corner that's done a great job has been Dom's corner, where they had the right fight plan right from the beginning. Mustafa Quisha and Renato and about 20 other people in that corner. they got too many people in that corner. I can't go over all those names.
Stop punching.
You haven't seen as many jabs as you'd like to see from Stevens. I know that, but other than that, has he improved since that knockdown?
No. I mean, he hasn't been using his jab. He's doing the same thing. He's looking for one shot. He's allowing one man to stay on the outside and dictate pace and, you know, be the ring general, be the matador, as you say, as you put it.
And to Endom's credit, he has not been lured into a slug fight, or a slug fest, rather. A slug fight would be very slow.
No backhand.
Yeah, sluggy, sluggish, slow. But the slow feet of Stevens has hurt him. You know, and the quicker feet of Endom, and that's what
nice jab there
would come to the legs of Endom versus the power of Stevens, and that's what it's been. You know, that's why I was singing early on. You know, because really, I would have sung. If I was the trainer of Endom, I would have sung the fight plan to him. You gotta dance.
So 6 minutes left for Curtis Stevens to turn this around.
If only everything was as easy as creating your website with Wix. Go to Wix.com today. It's free.
Let the Ancestry leaf guide you and reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
The stars are out tonight. James Toney on the right, Buddy McGirt on the left. Dustin Hoffman, Cuba Gooding Jr., show him the money. Sugar Shane Mosley. And of course, Frank Stallone and his less-known brother, Sly.
That's right.
11 rounds. We've got 12 scheduled. An IBF title eliminator. The winner faces either Jermaine Taylor or Sam Solomon. They will fight next week in Biloxi, Mississippi at the Beau Rivage. Teddy and myself will be there calling it live. Make sure and tune in to ESPN2 next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. But right now, all eyes on these two.
I said
stop punching. Stop back.
Right from the beginning. You have that great power. It's a great gift. It can be a great curse. It's been a great curse to Stevens. He's looking for too much, not doing the other things. The other things that Endom, that doesn't have that great gift of physical power, is doing. Boxing, jabbing, all the fundamental things. Stevens just looking for the one shot, and he's behind the 8 ball.
The only knockdown tonight came in round number 8 when Endom put Stevens on the canvas. Endom with 30 professional victories, just 1 loss. He does have 18 knockouts.
You know, tonight we've shown some of my best left hook knockouts. We've shown Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Patterson's knockout, Jersey Joe Walcott's knockouts. Looks like Stevens is going to need one of those tight punches, at least on my scorecard, if he's going to get this fight. 2 of the guys that we didn't show that were on my list, Mike Weaver, remember that one, 15th round versus John Tate? That was a real life Rocky moment. The other one wasn't a knockout, but it was a hell of a punch. Joe Frazier, the 15th round versus Muhammad Ali, when he dropped him in what was promoted as the fight of the century.
The clock is ticking down for Stevens to find something to answer what Endom has done tonight. Endom promised a boxing lesson, a clinic, if you will. Not sure if it's been that one-sided, but he certainly has proven that he is of championship caliber here tonight.
Look, the Dom set up a contract before the fight. Said, this is what I want you to sign to, Mr. Stevens. I want you to agree to this. Give me distance, give me range, leave me alone, don't throw your jab. You know, let me exist. Let me roam like a buffalo roams in the prairie. Let me roam on the outside. If you drew up a contract, that's the contract that Dom would have drawn up. And guess what? If you didn't know better, it looks like Stevens signed that contract.
Indom with a little Muhammad Ali shuffle after a right hand to the body connects.
Yeah, he's getting cocky, he's getting a little silly and, you know, doing all this silliness because Stevens has allowed him to feel this way.
Stevens appears to have been humbled there. The look on his face, discouragement, and it has been pretty one-sided, Teddy. Indom doing well early in this fight. And then the defining moment, round number 8.
Yeah, the right hand. Right hand, he blinds him with the jab. He sees Stevens loading up with a big right hand. Left hand is low. And the right hand on the button. And Stevens gets dropped. And then Stevens with the left hook trying to get back into it. With that left hook, doesn't catch him quite as clean as he would have liked to.
You lost the fight if you don't stop. I'm telling you.
Doing this, baby. Go get him, man.
This is an easy fight to win, and you put it in the box. Let's go, get him.
But again, you got to tell him how to get him. They're right. Go get him. It's a little late now. Now you got to get lucky a little bit, you know. But how do you get him? You still have to do it the way you haven't done it. It's not going to work just launching punches, just walking around the ring. You got to use that jab, stabilize him a little bit, and then get a moment.
This is a very similar situation what Stevens was in his last fight, taking on Torreno Johnson. Stevens behind on all the judges' scorecards, but found a way to get a stoppage in round number 12.
Big difference. Different level of fighter was Johnson, and Johnson cooperated. Johnson all night long stood with Stevens, fought fire with fire, and finally got burned. And Dom is not doing that. And Dom is not fighting fire with fire. He's moving, at least he was until this moment. And this is the one moment. See, Stevens didn't make the most of it. He should have just kept working. He didn't need to stop there. You're in a desperate place. You're in a hole. You're in a 100-foot hole. You need to climb out of that hole. When you get that opportunity inside, when Indom has been moving all night, isn't moving, you got to keep going. You got to keep punching. You can't stop like that.
It's 2 minutes now for Indom to hold on and get a shot at the middleweight championship. Stevens basically needs to turn this into a tough man contest. Go Neanderthal on Indom.
But again, I'm sorry, it's not enough to just do that. You got to do it the right way. You can't just chuck punches. If you could just chuck punches, anybody could land one. You got to do it the right way. You got to see what your guy's doing, what your opponent's doing, and you got to find a way to counter that. You got to find a way to negate that. You can't just throw punches. Again, right now, Indom throws from the right distance, stays outside. Stevens needs to get in close, behind the jab, and he's not doing that.
Baseball tonight coming up next here on ESPN2. But right now, 60 seconds to go. Hassan Indom.
The only way Stevens lands something is he's got to step with Indom. He's got to guess. He's got to guess where Indom's going to go. He's going to go to the left, he's going to go to the right, and step with him and have him punch there with him. He's got to be, you know, he's got to be Peyton Manning. Throw the punch, just like the pass, where the receiver's going to be. You know, you have a route, you throw it where he's going to be. Not where he is, where he's going to be, and you hope he's there. That's what Stevens needs to do. See, what I would do if I was Stevens, I would, there, catch him the right hand. Now he's got to stay on him. He's got to go. He's got him a little hurt now, but there's only a few seconds left.
20 seconds to go. Here it is.
He's got to go to the body. He should go to the body and then step back and throw an uppercut. Because Indom is grabbing. He can't let him grab. When Indom goes to grab, he needs to throw the uppercut and nail him.
10 seconds left. Is there a miracle in the left hand of Curtis Stevens?
He needs an uppercut now. Take a little step back and throw an uppercut when Indom falls in. Didn't do it. Not enough. He's not going to get it.
The fight was 30 seconds too short for Curtis Stevens. A valiant effort in the 12th and final round, but in the end, Hassan Ndam, a track and field boxer, as Stevens described him, stuck and moved beautifully, and even recorded the lone knockdown in this fight in round number 8. Who will be fighting for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World? The official announcement when we come back.
The quality of a private Christian education, the affordability of a state university. Visit gcu.edu.
If you're planning a home improvement project, remember to plan for the cleanup, because there will be debris. Be ready for the mess with the Bagster dumpster in a bag from Waste Management. Easy to use and strong enough to handle up to 3,300 pounds of debris. One call to Waste Management and the debris is gone, leaving you the room you planned. The Bagster bag. Buy yours at a home improvement retailer. Visit thebagster.com to learn more. For all your waste removal and recycling needs, rely on Waste Management.
So you're into fantasy football? Then you got to check out these new one-week leagues on FanDuel.com. Check out Joe Watson. He's 32. He's from Long Island, and he turned $50 into 31 grand in 2 weeks on FanDuel. It's the hottest thing in fantasy football. There's no season-long commitment, and with brand new leagues every week, you can pick a new team any week and get immediate cash payouts. So now you can pack the excitement of an entire season into 1 week. And with FanDuel, you can follow the action wherever you are. No wonder hundreds of thousands of fantasy football players like you are already hooked on FanDuel.com. And look, FanDuel is going to pay out $400 million this year. You got to get your share. With FanDuel, you can turn your fantasy football skills into real money, like Joe Watson did. And now FanDuel is going to match your first deposit. That's right. Sign up today, and FanDuel will double your deposit. Just go to FanDuel.com and enter promo code CAPTAIN2. That's FanDuel.com, promo code CAPTAIN2.
Welcome back to our ESPN Boxing Special, brought to you by Corona Extra. Curtis Showtime Stevens and Hassan, the phenomenon Ndam, goes the distance. Only one knockdown, and surprisingly, it was Ndam who dropped Stevens. Here's Teddy's scorecard, 118 to 109. He gave Stevens the first round and the final round. For those of you scoring at home on our Friday Night Fights Facebook page, 9 rounds to 3. Let's hear the official tally. Michael Buffer with the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of middleweight action, we go to the scorecards on the line. The #1 and mandatory ranking for the IBF World Middleweight Championship. Jack Reese and Glenn Trowbridge both have it 116 to 111. Barry Bruxman scores a 119 to 108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. The fighting pride of France, Hassan!
So the former WBO World Middleweight Champion has a chance to be the future IBF Middleweight World Champion. Next Wednesday, we'll be in Biloxi, Mississippi for another boxing special. Sam Solomon taking on Jermaine Taylor, defending the IBF Middleweight title in a scheduled 12-round bout. The winner of that fight will square off against Hassan Ndam. Baseball tonight, coming up next for Teddy Atlas, Bernardo Osuna, and the entire Friday Night Fights crew. I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you next week at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi, Mississippi. The IBF middleweight title is on the line.
The San Francisco Giants came, they saw, and they conquered thanks to Madison Bumgarner. As a result, they are the ones with the champagne shower inside the clubhouse here in Pittsburgh. San Francisco, behind a dominant performance by their big lefty, move on to face the Nationals in the NLDS. It's all ahead on Baseball Tonight.